After many weeks mostly in nature, enjoying the peaceful, quiet desert, we are now on our way towards the bustling giant cities of Dubai, Abu Dhabi and Doha. How is it to live out of a car in these metropolises? We'll not only explore the known touristy attractions, we are also going to venture out and off the beaten path to some more hidden gems. During the next weeks, we'll cross many borders in a relatively short time and explore each country a bit. We're Camille Danouk and we converted Dakar, our 4x4 Mitsubishi Pajero, into a camper. After finishing high school, we set off on a journey, headed to the Middle East. And after 7 months and over 17,000 kilometers on the road, we reached the United Arab Emirates and continued to Qatar, Bahrain and Kuwait.
From the border, we drive straight into Dubai, but before we can go exploring, we need to find us a place to camp. Luckily, we find a place right next to the water's edge, with an incredible view of the skyline.
From here, the metro station is not too far, and with our bikes we reach it in no time. During the last months, we very seldomly used our bikes. Cities here are mostly designed for cars, and really not for pedestrians or bicycles, which makes it rather dangerous. Dubai's metro system is extremely new, just like the rest of the city. We've never seen a self-driving metro like this before, but it is also quite small for a city of this magnitude. For reference, Berlin is around the same size. There are only 2 lines at the moment, but we're glad that there's any public transport at all. Before driving to Dubai, we researched what to do in Dubai. There's a sizable amount of attractions, but finding anything affordable is nearly impossible. Sure, a helicopter flight around the city or skiing in a shopping mall is fun, but doesn't quite fit our budget. Even visiting a museum turns out to be outside of our budget. Visiting the Museum of the Future would cost about 70 euros for us both. That's a week's budget for groceries. Student discounts sadly don't exist in the Gulf countries, we realize.
It's strange to stroll through a city that is known for being a magnet for the rich and famous. During daytime, we walk through luxury boutiques amidst towering, shimmering skyscrapers, and in the evening we return to our little car on the abandoned dusty construction site. But it's a nice contrast and feels funny to imagine that we probably have one of the cheapest accommodations in Dubai. We even see the characteristic skyline from our bed. Our experience of the city during the day isn't any different than the experience of a tourist flying to Dubai for a week. We even have the feeling of experiencing more facets of the city.
One thing we wanted to do, which is still very expensive, is go up the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, standing 830 meters tall. In order to get all the way up, it costs a mind-boggling 190 euros per person, so we settled for the lower viewing platform at 456 meters for a third of the price.
Having enjoyed the view and spent our day's budget, we go for a stroll around the city, admiring the fountain in front of the Burj Khalifa and having a look at the Dubai Mall, the second largest in the world with its huge aquarium, of which a small portion can be glimpsed for free.
We change camp spot and therefore drive through the city. The streets are huge, with many lanes and packed with shimmering cars and dense traffic. Dubai is one of the few places we heard so much about before our journey, so it's strange to now actually be here. Who would have thought that our Dakar would roam the streets of Dubai, and we would camp and cook here at the beach with our German car? We are surprised how easily we find places to camp, and also how safe we feel in this metropolis.
The last thing we visit in Dubai is the Palm Jumeirah, an artificial island in the shape of a palm tree, an incredible sight, especially with our drone.
After many days in Dubai at several camp spots, we head into the desert again, to the ghost town of Al Madam.
Only a few kilometers away from the nearest road, This abandoned village goes to show how quickly the desert reconquers what has once been taken from her. The sand piles up everywhere, on the outside trying to overrun the houses, while inside dunes form until right under the ceiling. A good demonstration of the relentless strength of the desert. Somehow we also feel inspired to take some more abstract photos, so Nookie goes for a swim.
On we go to some salt lakes we found on Google Maps. This unfinished construction project, which is filled with very salty water, makes for some nice pictures and is a stark contrast to the bleak desert surroundings.
We continue westwards to Abu Dhabi. Here we visit some of the more typical tourist attractions like the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque and the Louvre, an art museum with a variety of exhibits from all over the world. To use the name, the Abu Dhabi Louvre paid the Louvre in Paris 400 million euros in addition to the 190 million euros for some art loans. This demonstrates nicely the wealth of the Emirates.
Directly opposite the Louvre, we stumble upon the Abrahamic Family House, a complex of buildings in rather special constellation. Here, a mosque, a Catholic church and a synagogue are located around an information center, which aims to portray the religions and show their similarities and origins. While traveling Saudi, we heard about their stringent rules regarding other religions. For example, their ban on wearing non-Muslim symbols in public, or celebrating other religious festivities. Apparently, there's also not a single church in Saudi Arabia, so we are surprised to find something this open, unique and progressive as the Abrahamic Family House in the otherwise conservative Middle East.
In Abu Dhabi, we also finally meet our friends Kati and Tristan, who we got in touch with on Instagram. They are traveling the same route as us with their Toyota Land Cruiser. Somehow our paths didn't cross before, so we are happy to camp, cook and talk about our experience traveling.
Together we explore the mangrove forest, and then we continue on our separate ways.
The last thing we visit before leaving the UAE is an abandoned highway. It is very common here to build infrastructure, even though there doesn't really seem to be a demand for it. So this highway simply wasn't used, and slowly the desert took over again, a bizarre sight with an eerie apocalyptic feel to it.
Next to the highway, we rest for a while and cook. By now we have some go-to meals which are tasty and easy to do. We plan our further route and make our way to the border with Saudi Arabia. The Saudi borders are always easy and brilliantly organized, so we cross it in no time at all.
We only stay in Saudi for a brief moment, as we just have to drive 140 kilometers to the border with Qatar. Before crossing, we refuel so we can drive all the way through Qatar with the cheaper Saudi diesel. For Qatar, we simply get a visa on arrival, mandatory car insurance and change money.
Doha, the capital of Qatar, is a sparkling modern metropolis with spectacular buildings that form an even more amazing skyline, which can be seen particularly well from the so-called Old Port. We explore the adjacent Mira district with its colourful houses.
We move on to the fish market, which in this case is just for the tourists. You can really see how much effort the city made for the Football World Cup in 2022.
Over the next few days, we explore the city some more. Sadly, again, all the museums are too expensive for us, so we only have a look from the outside, which is still very impressive. In contrast to the museums, the golf carts, which are there to get visitors from one attraction to the next, are completely free of charge, remnants of the World Cup.
In the evening, we stumble upon the camel-riding royal guard in front of the Amiri Palace and stay a while to watch the goings-on.
On the other side of town is the Pearl Island, artificial islands comparable to the Palm Jumeirah in Dubai. Here, they reconstructed parts of Europe, for example Venice with its Italian architecture and small canals. There's even European classic music played with speakers in the small alleyways. We feel as if we're in an amusement park, because everything feels so extremely fake.
Before leaving, we have to solve a problem. Since a few days, we have some warning lights on our dashboard related to our braking system. Luckily, we instantly find a workshop and they simply read the error code and say that our front left wheel speed sensor must be broken. We heard that near Doha is a huge junkyard, so we go and find us a new sensor. When we arrive at the junkyard, it's already closed for the day, so we simply stay the night amidst the broken cars outside the official yard, go exploring and try our luck the next day.
After some really tough haggling, we managed to drop the price from mind-blowing 120 euros to appropriate 15, and one of the workers insists on quickly installing the new sensor.
We feel drawn to the desert again. On our way, we pass by a camel racetrack and have a quick look. Today the camels are only being moved slowly, however. Camels are generally expensive, and racing camels especially. Some at auction can fetch prices of around $1 million.
Having found a nice place, we relax a little, watch the swallows, eat our sambusa, and admire the rock formations.
In the middle of the Qatari desert, we find an artificial lake, a sanctuary for birds, and a nice resting place where we can prepare the car for the border crossing. Even though all borders within the Gulf countries are very easy and cars are hardly checked, we make it a routine to thoroughly tidy up and clean the car before each crossing. It's us who profit most from having our little home sorted and tidy. Sometimes it just needs a deadline.
With our cleaning routine done, we head to the border and enter Saudi Arabia again.
On our way to Bahrain, we decide to drive via Al Khufuf. It is here that we meet Muhammad and his friends in the evening. It is still Ramadan, so everyone is looking forward to the sunset and to finally eat and drink. The first meal in the evening is called Iftar, and we are invited to join Muhammad and his friends for this meal. It's already dark when we are finished eating and chatting. Muhammad invites us to see his Arabian thoroughbred show horse, so we join the group a little longer. One of their cars is stuck in the sand, so a small recovery is first needed. People here have a very different relationship to cars, and everyone seems to know how to recover a car out of the sand, and also to drive on sand.
The horses seem to be a huge pride, and we are shown around the stables. It has been a long dream of mine to ride an Arabian horse here in the desert of Saudi Arabia, and the next day this dream comes true. We go out with two of the horses. With loads of new impressions, experiences, and once again amazed by the warm hospitality, we continue to Dammam and then to Bahrain.
Bahrain is an island state, but in 1986 they opened a 25-kilometer long bridge, which connects it to the mainland. So driving there is easy, you just have to pay a small fee. In the middle of the bridge is an island with all the customs and police buildings on it.
Before we know it, we are in the Kingdom of Bahrain, a country known like many other Gulf countries for their pearl fishing past and lots of oil industry. The entire economy was built around pearl fishing until the late 1920s, when Japanese cultivated pearling became a cheap alternative. Luckily, around the same time, oil was discovered in Bahrain. The south of the country is predominantly oil and gas industry, with the iconic nodding donkey pumps and hundreds of kilometers of zigzagging pipelines.
In the northern part, we explored the capital city Manama and strolled through the old town along the UNESCO Pearl Path.
Once again, we cross the border into Saudi Arabia. Now everything seems to happen very quickly. Suddenly we're in Kuwait and are preparing our crossing into Iraq. We know the border will be tough, and after all the things we have heard about Iraq in Western media, we are a bit nervous and don't really know what to expect. See you soon!